Look at that. It's a little camera. Very nice. Welcome, everybody. My name is Lazaro Gomez, and you're watching Bot10 Art live stream on Friday night. So I just want to say hello to everyone, and today we got some pretty cool stuff that we're going to be talking about while I do a little artwork for you guys. But yeah, so a couple of things. I know I owe you guys an apology. Let's start there. I owe you guys an apology. Yesterday, I know that the stream was going on. You guys were getting notifications, and it's like, is he live? Is he not live? I thought it was Fridays, but today's Thursday. Like, what the heck's going on? So, a couple of things happened. I was using a piece of software called XSplit, and it is used by a lot of gamers on YouTube and stuff like that, and it was working for what I wanted to do, but there were a couple of things that were concerning me. So, one, I want to be able to live stream and then capture that onto YouTube, but also capture the same high quality 1080p video onto my hard drive so that later on I can upload tomorrow whatever art video I was working on. So the reason why I want that is because for this year I started a new series called Celestial, and I talked about it before in a previous vlog. And basically what I'm doing is I am creating artwork based on the horoscope. So you know, all the celestial bodies that exist in the galaxy or out in space in the universe and stuff. So I came up with this really nifty idea of doing basically like a female figure. Kind of, I got the idea from Metroid. Like, Samus is a female character, and she's in this like mech suit, and she could do all these things. So I wanted to kind of do my own type of series with that. And what I'm going to do is once a month I will be creating a video that's going to go on YouTube for that series. And then of course this is the first one. I don't think you'll be able to see it in good detail, but I have it sketched out, and that is Aquarius. So these will be available on the store later on and all that good stuff, but which I'll mention later. But going back to yesterday, we were trying XSplit. I didn't like it. Chris, my son Christian from Checkpoint Alpha, he put me on to OBS, and OBS is a lot easier to use. It's a lot easier to sync up with your YouTube channel. So if you guys are doing any kind of art videos or stuff like that, I recommend you guys use OBS. It's what we're using right now. And then, so it works out really well. And that was, that was one of the things that we were testing. We were trying to get all the settings right and all of that stuff. Like right now, the video is a little bit stretched, but I'm okay with that. I wanted to fill up the whole screen. So we're good. You know, we're good as far as that goes. And then of course I did an unboxing of my very super awesome Logitech C920. Woo, that was a mouthful. So yes, my new webcam, it is a 1080p Logitech C920, which I have attached right here, and you're currently viewing me with this camera. So one of the things that I wanted to do was I wanted to be able to go from here right down to artwork, which is like super awesome. And I could do it before when I was filming with my phone, but the transition wasn't all that great. It's like it was kind of hokey the way I have it set up right here, so I wasn't happy with it. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that, you know, I'm producing content on YouTube that's both, you know, great content, and also I enjoy making it. I enjoy spending my time here with you, and you guys get to see something really cool. And it's all in in a good resolution, and we're, you know, we're happy with that. So I was testing out the camera. I was testing out the capturing feature of OBS. Also, I am using tonight, we have multiple microphones that we use both for Bot10 Art and Checkpoint Alpha. But tonight I'm using the Blue Snowball. So I have that attached, and hopefully the audio is coming through really nice. And that was that was all the craziness from yesterday. So it was cutting in and out. There was music, there was me. It was, we were testing different things and basically driving the community crazy. So I just wanted to apologize for that. And we're starting tonight's stream with me saying I am totally sorry. But anyways, back to the back to the lecture in hand. I just wanted to say thank you first off for coming here and spending your Friday night with me. It's just, it's just a nice hangout. It's, just relax, grab a drink or whatever it is that you want to do, and kind of, hang out, see some artwork and whatever it is that I'm talking about. So the goal for this year, as far as the live stream goes, it ties into the topic that I wanted to talk about. So on Instagram, I teased a little bit, saying the future. It was an image of a street sign that had the words "the future" on it. And basically, starting a new year, it's like 2017. I get it. It was a rough year. A lot of people had a lot of problems. But, moving on to the new year, it's time to kind of make a change, And it's not anything mystical or magical. It's like one year is better than the other. I don't necessarily see it that way. I just see it as a transition. You're going from what you did in the past to what you want to do in the future. And so tonight's live stream basically is that. It's talking about the future. And whether you're an artist or a chef or whatever the case may be, whatever your profession is, it's something to always think about. At the end of the year, you reflect on everything you've done, everything that you want to do, and when you come into the new year, you start thinking about those things. You start thinking about the future. Like, what do you want to do that's different? What kind of goals do you want to reach? So for me, on a personal level, what I do is, at the beginning of the year, I always set out goals, and I say, okay, well, I want to do these things, and I list them all out. And then, of course, part of the whole future plan is that, you have your goals, and then you plan for them, you execute them, and, that whole process along the way and what it all entails. So for me, I have found that it's a lot more, I guess, you have more success if you have attainable goals rather than these elaborate crazy goals. It's like you're never gonna get very far if you're thinking that way. I mean, it's great to dream and someday I'll do this or I'll have that or something like that, but at the same time you have to be grounded and you have to basically understand what it is that is happening and what it is that you're trying to attain in a smaller package. So obtainable goals are a lot better than these, wild goals. So with that said, one of the things that I wanted to do was to live stream. And I wanted to go ahead and set it all up to where you guys can kind of get a behind the scenes look when I'm doing commissions or when I'm preparing to do art videos or things of that nature. So that was one of my goals, was to live stream. Another one of my goals is to do more shows. So I actually spent all of December basically plotting what shows I want to do, which ones are going to be beneficial for me, and kind of expand a little bit more, because usually what I do is I do about 5 shows a year, and it's good, but I think the way I'm doing the shows, I want to change it just a little bit. I have an itch. So the idea here is to do a lot more shows. So I'm doing 12 shows a year, and they're smaller shows. So instead of doing, huge Dragon Con, San Diego Comic Con, or New York Comic Con, or whatever, I'm doing just smaller shows that exist here in Florida and a little bit north of Florida. And that's another goal that I set out for myself. Another goal I set out for myself was the Celestial series. So I'm doing 12 pieces a year, where versus, last year I took on the 52-week challenge and I created 52 pieces of artwork in a single year. So I got that going. And then I have my daily sketches, commissions, new artwork, and the whole 9 yards. So I have small obtainable goals for myself, and I think you're very successful with that sort of stuff. So with that said, we're going to go into planning, and that's the second step of this whole like looking towards the future type deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this camera. I might have to make a couple of adjustments here, but hopefully it'll work out, because if not, the video will be upside down. So hang in there. Hang in there. We're still trying to work things out, but I promise, it's the nature of the beast. It's that way. It's like when you're trying something new, you don't really know it all until you hone in to what it is that you want to do. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to that, and we will do some artwork. All right. Okay, so hopefully everybody can hear me good. As you can see, this is upside down. So what I have to do is I have to make an adjustment to my camera and flip that around. So now we're facing the right way. And I want to do one more thing. I want to see if I'm able to zoom in. And hopefully I can do that relatively easily. There we go. All right, that seems pretty good. I think we're good there. So as you can see, the image is kind of stretched out a little bit, but the reason why is so I can fill up space when I'm doing these videos. So for tonight, I just did this little doodle, and I kind of wanted to share it while I'm doing the live stream tonight. So going back to the whole futures thing, I'm looking towards the future. I'm taking with me everything that was successful in 2017, and I'm applying it to 2018, and then moving forward from there. All of the things that I want to do this coming year. So first off, I set out my goals, and then of course you plan out. So if you're a new artist and you don't exactly know what it is you want to be doing, it could be very challenging. For me, when I was growing up, I knew I loved art, and I knew that I love creating artwork, but at the same time, I didn't have the proper direction or guidance, excuse me, that I needed. And the reason why is just because it's knowledge, it's understanding. It's like, I like this. What am I going to do? So I had to figure out what I wanted to do. And so that was the birth, or the beginning of me kind of discovering who I was as an artist, and putting things into action. And I said, okay, well, I want to do art shows. I want to create artwork. I want to be able to get paid for the work that I do, and all these different things. But in the beginning, of course, there was no planning. I had all these goals, and they were huge goals, and there was no planning, and yeah, things turned bad really, really quick. So that's when, just like anything else, whether you're an artist or whatever the case may be, you need training, right? So you go through the training, and you figure out what it is you want to do, and you start putting together a plan, and then you execute that plan, and you go from there. So I had my goals, and then I started figuring out, well, what's the best way to approach these goals and be successful at it, and be able to basically make something out of nothing. So that's what I did. I said, okay, well, I want to be able to do some, I want to be able to do some graphic design. So I started doing graphic design. I created a business, and step by step, I started building that business, and it was successful. For a long time, I did a lot of graphic arts. And so now you move on to something else. You know, if you want to do something else, and you do the same thing. What do you want to do in the future? So you start thinking about those goals, and you start planning those goals and moving forward from there. And that's kind of what I did. So then for this year, like I said, I have all these different goals that I want to accomplish for 2018. And right now I'm in the planning stage. It's like, okay, well, I want to do a live stream. How does it work? How do I get it all, situated on YouTube, and then make it something viable and make it something good, and you keep going that way, so you plan. And so with that said, here we are. We're live streaming. And I think for the most part, people tend to kind of get trapped in that. It's like if something doesn't work out the way that they want it to work out, then they just kind of give up, and it's like you can't give up just like that. You have to be able to move forward and really know what it is you want to do, and just know that everybody is in different stages of their life. Like you may see my artwork and say, oh my god, and it's really awesome. How did he get there? I want to do the same thing. Or you could see it as, oh my god, this guy really sucks. Why does he have a YouTube channel? And why do I not? And those are all real things. Those are all things that you think about. Those are all things to consider. But it's not a bad thing. Everybody's at a different level. So just because you don't draw like I do doesn't mean that you're a terrible artist or you suck. And I don't suck either because I don't draw like somebody else. So those are all things that could be potential pitfalls. So in the planning stages of your goals, you have to keep in mind that they are pitfalls. There are problems. And that's the reason why a lot of the times people say, well, if plan A doesn't work, you have plan B and C to back you up. And that's where that came from. It's like, it makes sense. It's tactical planning. So you have to know that whatever you're planning does have the potential to fail. And that's not a bad thing, because you learn from failure. And I can tell you, as a professional artist myself, I failed plenty. But the important part about all of this is that you learn from those mistakes and you apply it to your future endeavors. So that's the thing. You have your goals. Now you're planning on your goals, how you execute these goals. I think it's very important also to stay on schedule. So for me, I'm doing the live stream. That's my goal. The plan is to make a schedule and do different artwork and talk about different topics. And the schedule will be every Friday night, 8 p.m. So that's kind of the mentality around that. And just kind of planning ahead and making it happen. So being on a schedule is really important. And you'll come to find out that you're better off with a schedule, and everything is planned out and everything is well mapped, and you know what everything is, and you're looking at everything and it works out. So that is another key component of the future. So moving forward, you just gotta make sure that that's there. It's just like anything. If you're doing a road trip or something, you want to know where everything's at. What's the best route, how you're gonna go about traveling. You buy your airline tickets or rent cars or whatever it is that you're gonna do. It's the same thing. It's no different. So you can't just just do things willy-nilly and, oh, today I'm going to be an artist and tomorrow I'm going to be a photographer and whatnot, because it doesn't work that way. Everything you do in life takes training, it takes practice, and the more you do it, the better you get at it, and that's just the way that it goes. So for me, last year, I wanted to do a lot of watercolor, and I did. That's why I did the 52-week challenge, and I put myself in a position where I was outside of my comfort zone, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot, and I accomplished goals, and I'm very happy with everything that happened last year. My first Inktober was last year, and that was hugely successful. So I'm really grateful for that. And this year, I'm thinking of doing Inktober again, and then also I'm thinking of March of Robots, which is another challenge very similar to Inktober, and I'm thinking about that and whether or not I'm going to do it, and then everything else is just falling into place. So I have my commissions, I have art shows, I have prints that I'm thinking about doing, I have my live stream, all of these different goals, and will I fail at some of them? Absolutely, of course, but there's always the potential of success, and that's very important too. So I'm doing my absolute very best. I set out goals for 2018, both in my art career and in my personal life, because this applies to everything. It applies to your health, it applies to your relationship with your family, it applies to artwork, to work, to whatever you want to apply it to. So yeah, I have some personal goals that I want to meet, and I'm doing the same thing there, just kind of planning it all out, making it all super awesome. And then the last thing I want to talk about is the process or the journey. You always hear, oh well, the journey is always better than the beginning or the end, and it's true. In this particular case, if I'm not having fun with the live stream or my artwork or the shows or stuff like that, then it doesn't make any sense to do it. So thank you. Hold on just one second, jumping in. So someone's in the chat. It's Mr. Christian. So anyways, look at this thing. It's like filthy. I've had it for years. But anyways, going back to what I was saying, whatever you plan, whatever you do in life, know that you'll be successful at some, know that you're going to fail at some. But at the same time, it's all about your attitude. It's like, if you have this pessimistic attitude that, everything's going to suck and it's not going to work, and oh my God, I'm a loser, why am I doing this? I can't believe it. Then that tends to have an effect. Believe it or not, that tends to have an effect on the outcome. You got to have a positive attitude, and you got to have fun with it. Like, I remember last year when I went to Tampa, I was I was booking my hotel, and it was gonna be a father-son trip, and it's like, hey, we're going to Tampa. I got the hotel room, everything's great. All we got to do is drive up there, have fun, and then we'll check into the hotel. Well, the way that the website for the hotel worked out is it gives you the rooms that are available no matter what time of the year. So I found some rooms that were available, and they were affordable, and I was like, oh sweet, here we go. But I failed to realize that the hotel website auto-populated the date. So so I booked the hotel room almost, I want to say like a month too late. So it's like we were there in August, and I thought I made the reservation for like September or something like that. And so there you go. It's like failure. It's a failure. And of course it's, it was Tampa Bay Comic Con weekend. We show up to the hotel. We have no place to go. we are screwed. And that was, that was a mistake that I committed because I wasn't really paying attention. Well, I was, but I didn't notice that that's the way the website worked. And yeah, I got myself in a little bit of trouble. Got myself in a little bit of trouble, and things turned out bad. But granted, you make the best out of every situation. So what we did is we said, okay, well, we'll save the money on the hotel, and we'll just drive back and forth, from my home to Tampa. And that's what we did, and that worked out. So it wasn't as bad as a disaster as it could have been. And that's what I mean. The plan was to go to Tampa to have a good time, to rent a hotel room, and go from there. We were gonna go to Busch Gardens, Busch Gardens one day, and then Tampa Bay Comic Con the next. And like I said, it all kind of turned sideways, and the rest is history. So that that was Plan A, and we ended up going with Plan B. And that I think that's an important lesson to learn. And that I was so upset. I was so bummed. I couldn't believe it. I felt like I messed up the entire weekend. But at the same time, it worked out for the best. We saved the hotel money, and we were able to go to a restaurant that we wanted to go to, and it all worked out, right? It all worked out. So I think, looking towards the future and doing all of these things, you have to keep in mind that there's always that, there's always something can go wrong, something can change, and you have to be able to, you have to be able to adapt somehow, and kind of, not fall flat on your face in defeat just because something happened. So with the live stream, I have a lot of concerns. I mean, is it number one, is it going to be fun? Is it going to be something that that I could stay steady on? Can I make every single Friday at 8 p.m.? I don't know. Maybe not. I mean, I have commissions that I have to do. I have commitments, to my family. I have commitments to friends and stuff like that. So the majority of the time, I will stick to the schedule. I mean, I have it planned to stick to the schedule. And if there's days where I cannot make the Friday, then it'll be Thursday or Saturday. And that's what I mean. It's like we could adjust the plan to make it work and still keep it fun, make it fun. So that's an important lesson to learn. No matter what you're doing, you gotta have fun. So same thing with the art shows. I've been at art shows where people are upset, and they paid all this money for a table and they're not making money, and for whatever the reason, it's probably not their audience, or probably not a good weekend for art, or whatever the case may be. But it's like they sit there and they're so upset and they're defeated because things are not going their way. And I could tell you from doing a lot of shows that sometimes they're extremely awesome and other times they are horrible. So I've been on that side of the road. I've been on that side of the track where I've done really great, and in the same show the following year I do horrible. I don't sell anything, and it's frustrating because that's the one thing a lot of people don't take into consideration. It's like when you're an artist, you're putting everything on the line. You're banking on your art. You're banking on your skill, and you're hoping that people enjoy what you do. So I've been there, and it sucks. It's like some shows you're like, oh, why? But yeah, I mean, again, you set out to do shows as a goal, and again, going back to my goals, I'm doing 12 shows. I'm doing 12 shows once a month. I'm traveling to different places. things can happen. I could be very successful, or I could be, each show could be a complete disaster, a complete failure. But I'm not gonna sit there and ponder about what's good, what's bad, and any of that stuff. So we're going for it. I've committed. I've committed to that schedule, and we're gonna go for it. And I think that that's important. So when you guys are thinking about 2018 and what it holds for you all, I hope you're thinking that way. Maybe it's, I don't know, to eat better and have a better diet, or be more efficient and less distracted with things, or do whatever it is that you want to do. I know people that are inspired to write books, and this year they're gonna write a book. The same way as I know people that want to do more fine art, and they're doing fine art. And those are all like really cool things. Those are all things that are important to people, because you have to have those goals. And that's just the way I see it. Every year, every year I do the same thing. I said, okay, well, I had a great year. What do I want to do? And then I started thinking about that and make it as fun as possible. So that's the whole, I don't know, that's the whole stream for tonight in a nutshell. It's like, plan ahead, do different things, try different things. If you're, whatever the case may be, if you're into photography, or if you're into artwork, or just working out, or eating better, or whatever the case may be, traveling. I know I know for a lot of people that traveling is something that you hear people say, and it's like, oh man, this year I want to do a road trip, or I want to go to Europe, or I want to do whatever, and I want to go here and I want to go there. Same thing. It's the same exact thing, and it's you apply the same physics and the same theory to that, and you do with artwork. So if you're a student and you're an artist, that that could be a goal for you. Finish school, or select some kind of medium or some kind of skill that you want to improve. It could be watercolor, it could be inking, it could be life drawing, it could be painting, it could be anything. But you set yourself out to do this, to do these things, and attain that goal, reach that goal. And like I said, make it a goal that you could achieve. That way your success rate is higher. You have a higher success rate if if you can do these things. But if they're like crazy crazy goals, then they're harder to reach, and your level of disappointment will go up, and then you just give up and you start focusing on negative things, and just things won't turn out right. And I know, because I've been there. Start thinking about all the bad stuff. Frustrated. Why couldn't I get this, or why couldn't I do that, and why did these things turn out this way? But it's like, you're psyching yourself out, and that's what happened to me. And that's why my advice to you tonight is that if you have goals, try to make them attainable. Move forward. Don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to fail. And I don't know. It's just like anything. I have ideas for artwork, and when I execute them, like, they're horrible ideas. Nobody likes them. And at the same time, I have artwork that I create that I think that it's going to be horrible. I took a risk, a gamble on it, and it turns out to be a good seller. It turns out to be something that people enjoy or want or whatnot. And that's important. So like I said, for me, those are my goals. I hope I make it. I hope I have a really good year. And of course, all of these things are happening. So, but I could say that with the whole YouTube thing, I'm really excited about that because the first year went by and I obtained my goals, and that was to get 50 subscribers. And I met that goal, and it was also to create 52 videos. I reached that goal. I also did some art challenges. I reached that goal. Also improve the quality and the overall look of my online presence. I reached that goal. And again, it's those little things that you can tweak and turn and just kind of make them work in your favor. And those are obtainable goals. Those are all things that I had in mind that I want to do. So if someone if someone like me can do it, trust me, anybody can. Anybody can. I know a lot of my friends and stuff like that, they know my character and they kind of know how I am, and yeah, I don't take myself too serious, I don't take myself too serious, but at the same time, I don't squander anything either too. It's like, if something cool comes my way, I'm definitely grateful and thankful for it. But at the same time, it's like, am I gonna win like some kind of global award for my incredible artwork? Probably not. Probably not. But at the same time, I have made a successful career. I am having fun, and we just we keep going from there. So I think that's important. I think that's very important. So going back to the live stream, while this dries a little bit, we're gonna have to make some changes to the camera real fast. But there's another thing I want to talk about. So going back to, we're zoomed in. It's a giant Laz face. So going back to the whole live stream and all that stuff, while this dries, let me know what you think. Let me know either in the comments or give me a like or whatever the case may be. But basically, I'm looking for feedback from you guys. Is an hour too long? I don't know. Maybe we should go just 30 minutes, because we've been live now for 40 minutes, and I'm cool with it. If you guys are cool with it, I'll keep doing it. So that's kind of where I'm at with my channel. I want to be able to provide you guys what you want to see. I'm not just gonna sit here and ramble on about my dreams or my goals or anything like that. But I do want it to be like the best I can possibly create. So moving forward in 2018 for Bot 10 Art, that's what I want to do. We got brand new art prints. We got all this different stuff. Of course, all of the stuff that I create, whether it's originals or prints, it could be found on my website. I have everything really, really cheap, and it's affordable for everyone, because I don't believe that if you like something that I created, I'm not going to charge like $1 million for it. It's affordable. You can buy the original, you can buy the print, and that's kind of the way I do things. That's, like I said, I don't take myself way too serious, but I do want to create something really good and positive, and I think I'm getting closer to that, step by step, and by doing things like this. So yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know if you're new to my channel and you like this sort of stuff. Go ahead and hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get the notifications when I go live. Also, just I don't know. Look for all of it. Look for all of it. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. It's all the same. It's Bot 10 Art. And with that, I don't know. Do we have time? That's the problem with watercolor. It takes a lot of time to dry, but we'll see. We'll see. But I just wanted to say, Thank you all for, number one, watching the live stream and doing all of the super cool things that you guys do. And like I said, moving forward in 2018, I hope that this is something that you guys enjoy. I hope it's something that you look forward to every week, just the same way I do. And that's what happened to me this week. I started the week on Monday and I was so amped and I was so positive. I'm like, oh my God, the live stream, the live stream, the live stream. The whole week I drove my family crazy because I was excited about doing the live stream. So I hope you guys are that excited too. And there's a lot of cool things that are coming. And I just want to build a really cool community here on my YouTube channel. And hopefully provide some good information for both professional and novice artists that are out there. So with that, I will say good night. Thank you very much. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. And hopefully we will have the Celestial video #1 coming to you real soon. But if not, then tune in next Friday and we'll be doing some other cool stuff. So with that, adios, goodbye. We will see you